Have you ever had one subject you struggled in, no matter how hard you tried? For me, that was writing research papers. The task always seemed overwhelming, no matter which way I approached it, and every strategy I tried to implement seemed to make things harder rather than easier. Research papers were my Achilles heel. When I reached 11th grade AP History, Mr. Zach would change the way I attacked research papers for the rest of my life. Mr. Zach was by far the hardest teacher in my school, but his classes were always full and his AP success rate was astounding because everyone loved him. Teaching, if it is to be done well, must be built on vision and commitment. Learning, if it is to be done meaningful, depends on imagination, risk-taking, intention, and invention. I feel this quote fit Mr. Zach the best because he approached teaching in a way that previous teachers hadn't for me. His class was almost completely discussion-based, and we as students would lead a discussion which students seemed to thrive in. His class was by far the hardest and most challenging class I would take throughout my high school career, and on our first day of class he hit us with some very hard news. My year would be the first year he incorporated a research paper that would last almost throughout the entire year. My heart sank lower than I had ever felt before at the thought of this because his class was already hard beforehand, and I instantly began dreading it. My intimidation would soon vanish as the class developed. It turns out that he had broken the research paper down and devised a plan on how we should approach it, which surprisingly made a lot of sense to me. I took his advice and found myself flowing through each step with ease, unlike my fellow classmates who did not heed Mr. Zach's advice. I sat down over a month early and decided to write the research paper. I was able to completely finish my 12-page paper and submit it in about 5 hours because I approached the paper in certain steps. Mr. Zach was an outstanding teacher all around. He was supportive yet made sure not to coddle us. His class not only prepared me for life, but through his advice I was able to get over my fear of research papers. I have also changed my mindset about the way I view classes beforehand. I now enter with complete confidence in myself because I know I'm up for any task. All of this is thanks to Mr. Zach, and I will always be forever grateful to him. I can only hope to be as great of an educator as he was.